Carl, welcome to this week's edition of In the Dugout. We have a third pre-season friendly. Announced London Broncos to visit the Keepmoat Stadium, the third championship opposition of pre-season, and another good test for Richard Horne's side.
Yeah, Richard wanted some real tough games in the pre-season just to, get us up to speed. But 3 championship sides and 3 good ones, 2 full-time championship clubs, and Batley, who's always very, very tough. So they'll be challenging. We looked at doing something a little bit different with this London one. That's why it took some time to announce. What we were trying to do hasn't quite come off, but if anything changes, we'll let it out. But at the moment, we'll be playing Leigh, London, and Batley on consecutive weekends. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, you look at those 3 teams as well. Leigh were in Super League last year, Batley a couple of seasons ago in the top 4. London were in that top 4 last season, so they're all good tests, and if they bring strong sides down, which I'm sure they will, it's good preparation going into the League One season.
Yeah, and we've been told they're going to all bring their top sides, so that's good because it'll bring a crowd, and we can get the atmosphere going from the start of the season. They'll be all tough games, real tough, but that's what we want. It's going to be a tough year, so we might as well start the season tough, and the results and what we're looking for in the friendlies, but the performance is what we're looking for.
And it's worked out quite well as well. 3 weeks in consecutive weeks there, we're going to have games, and then we've got a little bit of a break before the league season starts, so it's sort of timed quite well.
Penultimate. I would just had to say that.
Yeah, London will be the penultimate friendly.
Yeah, it will be. No, tough. 3 tough weeks. Then we'll have our season launch dinner, and then Richard wants them to have a week with the families before the season, the penultimate week before the season starts, and then we're into the season. It's a long season, and there's not many breaks this year, so it's important that they have the week off before the season starts to spend with their families, and then we get into it.
Less than a month now to go until the Challenge 1000 deadline on Christmas Day, of course, isn't it, this year? So how important is it just for fans who haven't purchased yet that they do take advantage of this great offer? Yeah,
we're happy with it. We're well up on last year's numbers. We called it Challenge 1000 because we knew it would be a challenge, and the 1000 wasn't the target. I think there's a couple getting carried away about we were never going to get 1,000. Well, it wasn't about getting the 1,000. It was that we're trying something different. We're trying to give back to the fans. We're trying to create an atmosphere. So we're happy. It was to increase the numbers. A hell of a lot of kids' season tickets are gone, well in excess of last season. So that will create an atmosphere in itself. But we're quietly confident and comfortable where we are with it. We've got a number, where we need to get to, and I think we'll get there. But the fans who've brought so far have been fantastic. They've been spreading the word, and they've been saying, this deal's unbelievable. We've got chairmans of other clubs and ex-referees and all this sort of stuff's even going out on the social media and saying what a fantastic concept you're trying to do, and they're wishing us all the best. So it's captured the imagination. It's talked about throughout the game. So we should be proud of it. We should embrace it and say, pat ourselves on the back when every other club's talking about our initiative that we've done. And I'm pretty certain you'll probably see some more take it on next year. So we've gone out there. We've put ourselves up there to be shot at, but 1,000 wasn't the target. It was a challenge, and that's exactly what it says. If we get the 1,000, great.
Well, we've already sold more kids tickets than we did at this stage last season, and that's a good sign as well, that we're going to have a good age range sort of between supporters, aren't we? And that younger generation is exactly what we want for the club going forward.
Yeah, and to put it into perspective, I think last year we did, was it just short of 200, including kids. We've done over 200 adult season tickets already this year, so we've exceeded what we've done, including kids and the foundation and everything last year already, just on adult season tickets. The graph we put up on the website doesn't include the kids. So we're well in excess of where we are. We says we wanted to increase the crowds. We've done that already.
You spoke about signings last week on Dugout, speaking about players in the World Cup and looking to try and pick some players from maybe the lower sort of nations. Has there been any progress on that, or is it still sort of a work in progress?
Oh, it's I say it's a roller coaster, like every week, and we're real close. We're in the hands of the border agency. It's not we can go out and say we've agreed terms with a couple and everything like that. But everyone will say, well, have you? We have. We're in the hands of the border agency. I know the RFL was meeting with the border agency on Tuesday of this week. So hopefully we'll know. It's just the criteria. If it's all on, I'll tell you, if we get what we need out of the meeting, then it's all on, and no problem. And I'm pretty sure that everyone will be over the moon. For me, it's tough. One day we're there, and then we're not, and then I've got the players, the two players, and they can't wait to come, and that's how close we are. So people say, where are we with these? Everything's been agreed with the club and the players. It's just we're just hoping that we with the border agency and what we've asked gets a green light. If it gets a green light, we're laughing.
And how big a statement do you think it could be then if we were to get the players you're after, and what sort of impact could they have coming into a team in League One?
They'd have a massive impact. They'd become crowd favourites overnight. Exciting, really exciting for the club, and it'll be a massive feather in our cap. The boys are really buzzing to come themselves, and this isn't something that just come from the World Cup. It's 2 or 3 months before. I've been dealing with them now, and it's a tough one, but it's one that we always think we've got it right at the start of every year, and then until you start playing, you don't know how you go. And we want to have a big season, and we're really confident that if we can get this across the line, then it'll really contribute to us massively. And they can play in a numerous number of positions, wing, prop, and I'm not joking. That's what the CV says: prop, wing, loose forward. So there you go. Yeah, that's just how they are. But we've done some graft, and we're that close.
On the subject of the World Cup, then, what did you make to that semi-final between England and Tonga last weekend? It looked over and done with 10 minutes to go, didn't it? Nowhere, Tonga came back into it, could have sneaked it at the last minute. I wanted to talk to you about that decision in the last minute for Fee to look to have gone through, and then what's your call on it? Was it a knock-on, ball steal?
I would have loved for it to go upstairs. I just sort of loved it. I would have loved it. Ben was up there, and he would have been squeaking, wouldn't he? Hey, the old there. I would have loved for him to go. He couldn't win. If it went upstairs, there's no way he could win if he would have.
Great decision, wasn't it, from the referee not to even send it?
Well, the way he called the calls throughout the whole game, when it went upstairs, I've never seen it. Like, try, no try, straight away, quick. So I think if it went upstairs, we'll still be watching it now, because I don't know if he would have been able to call it. In Super League, I think everyone said in Super League it's a try, and in Australia it's probably not a try, but it's a 50-50 call, and it warranted to go upstairs regardless of the the time or whatever. I think the ref went upstairs before he ordered a try, and then someone questioned it, so he went upstairs. Was it Gareth Widdop's try? Why he didn't go upstairs, I'll never know, and I don't think the majority of people will ever know it. When you've got a World Cup final at stake, and you've got to be 100% certain, well, How could he be 100% certain? He can't be.
I don't
It
think
should.
anybody else was.
But massive credit to him, because I don't know what Ben Failer wouldn't have got out of New Zealand, mate, if he called the wrong, if it went upstairs and he said it was no try. So why did they leave it so late, Tonga, before they started playing? You know, they forced a few balls, and when they were in England's territory in the first 25 minutes on second play and all that, trying to pass it, but it's all on this week. Good, you know, we all want England to do well, but I think the thing with Tonga is everyone was just because they're such a small nation and they've done so well, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. You'll never ever see anything like that, I don't think, again. Apparently they're all in Tonga today, and it's the Prime Minister's called a national holiday and giving them all some, you know, whatever they get, the Queen's Cross or whatever they get there in Tonga. It's a holiday, public holiday over there, purely on their efforts. So I'm sure those scenes will come out this week and we'll all be watching them, and they'll be amazing. So good on them, and hopefully they can go from strength to strength now.
What do you reckon to England's performance, barring the last 10 minutes? Then I think a lot of people have accepted it was their best by a long way in this World Cup. They looked quite comfortable at times. The only real chances Tonga had was when they were breaking from deep, and sort of the odd line break. When it was sort of on the line defence, they looked quite strong for the majority.
Yeah, they did. Wayne Bennett factor in it. You can't. We've said all along, everyone moaned about him being coach and that, but this is where he earns his corn. He'll be saying things to those players this week that they've never heard before, and probably make them grow 6 feet tall, and, you know, grow another leg, and we could be on for an upset, I think. Oh, you just don't want me to say that, do you? I think Aussie will win easy. That's what you want me to say, don't you? But I hope they do. I hope they do. I'll certainly be going for them, but they've all got to probably have their A game, and Aussie's got to be off a little bit. But we've done right Wayne Bennett off. This is where he'll prove. He did it the same in Australia when New Zealand won the World Cup over there. He was with the Kiwis. So he's the magic man, isn't he? As much as everyone's gone on about him and said how boring he is, I think if you listen to all the players, they absolutely love him. And like I say, he'll be saying things to them this week that they've never been told before, and they'll be going in that game with a heap of belief, I think. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be good. You know, I always like to see them get into the Aussies, and hopefully I think the forward pack has got it over them, and the back's probably evenly matched, I would say, both back lines, but should be a cracker. But I'll go for Aussie just so England win, because I've got it wrong all tournament, ain't I? So you keep telling me, don't you?
How much will England miss Josh Hodgson, do you think? He's been ruled out of the final and probably out for the majority of the NRL season next year as well, with a cruciate ligament injury. Having a key player out like that, when you're already massive underdogs, is going to test England's resolve, isn't it?
I'm on the other side. You know, nobody wants. I wish Josh all the best in the injury, but I'm a Roby fan, and I think he can play a lot better with Roby. The Aussies know what Josh does as well. He plays in their competition. They're not too sure what Roby does. Roby passes straight from the floor. I'm a fan of Roby. I think it strengthens him when he's playing, and he can play 80 minutes. What I'm probably not a fan of is the fella who's coming on the bench, and he'll probably score the winning try for England, but I would have rather seen one of the, you know, Percival or Taylor go in from Hull on the bench. They're the future. But like I says, we sit here and we can say what we want. You know, like I say, Hyington might go and score the winning try, and everyone will be saying Carl Hall said he was going to do that, but he also said he shouldn't be playing as well. So good luck to them. Nice and early, another early morning start, isn't it, fellas?
Not as early as it's on here.
9 o'clock. Be drunk by 12.